but I do think Bigfoot existed.
Yeah.
There's some insane number of Native American words for Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah.
Sasquatch is just one of them. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of Native American words for this one animal that's fake, but all the other words they have are for real animals. They don't have a bunch of dragons. They don't have like mythical creatures in Native American mythology, but they do have this one giant man thing that definitely existed.
At some point.
At 100%, Gigantopithecus was a real animal. It was 8 to 10 feet tall, bipedal hominid. It was a huge gorilla-looking primate that died off somewhere around 100,000 years ago, but they don't know really
100,000?
Yeah, but they don't know for sure. The thing about it is, it's like, if you only find fossils from 100,000 years ago, you could assume that that this animal at least lived then. But you don't know when it went extinct.
Right.
You might find some new fossil like 10 years from now. They might find some new site. And wait a minute, these are 20,000 years old, or these are 30,000 years old, or these are 50,000 years old. But either way, anatomically identical human beings have been around for 500,000 plus years, maybe even more. So, or similar human beings. So then we definitely interacted with them.
Yeah.
Or they were around when we were around.
I think they're still around. I think there's hundreds, maybe thousands of them. That's what I believe. I think they're in caves or something.
For people who don't know, the docuseries is called Sasquatch, and you look at it on Hulu, you go, oh man, it's a Bigfoot documentary.
Nope.
Not really. No, it's a lot scarier. How did this come about? Like, how did this project fall into your lap?
Well, the genesis of the project really goes back to the fall of 1993. I was visiting a buddy of mine who was working on a dope farm, and it was harvest season, which is like a particularly dangerous time of the year up there. But he kind of got me a hall pass with the guy that owned the farm and vouched for me to parachute in for about a week. And something that didn't make it in the show is that I went up there to do like a heroic mushroom trip with this guy. So the day before, the day that the ship went down, okay, we took about an eighth mushrooms each and went tripping around the redwoods. Now that didn't make it in the show, okay, but that night as we were coming down, we were in the cabin, the A-frame cabin that belonged to the guy that owned the farm, and these two dudes showed up late at night, covered in mud, like splattered with mud, soaked, claiming that they'd just been to a nearby dope farm where they'd seen 3 bodies that were torn up, like mutilated. And these guys were freaking out. Okay, they seemed legitimately traumatized to me. They were exuding this like energy of like terror and having just seen, mutilated bodies, to the point where I was just trying to shrink into the couch where I was. I was like really not happy to be in that room at that point.
How old were you at the time?
I was 23 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just getting going in journalism, And the owner of the farm kind of pulled them off to the side, and they were having a conversation in the kitchen. And when they were trying to keep their voices hushed, but these guys, they were so rattled. And also, like, I didn't know the signs at the time, but now looking back, I'm like, they were on crystal. They were tweaking, right?
Yeah.
And so they were like, their voices were going up and down in volume, but they were clearly saying that they just like seen these 3 bodies, and they seen like Sasquatch footprints at the murder scene. And they knew it wasn't a ripoff, they were saying, because, it was, all the weed had been harvested, but it was still there. Like some plants had been torn up and thrown around, right? But the bud was still there. Like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of weed, if it was a typical patch.
Les Stroud.
Yeah.
So he did that show about
Survivor Man Bigfoot, yeah.
But it just went away.
Bro, that show, I love Les Stroud. I love him. I love Survivor Man, but that show was so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
He had a guy on the show that is known in the Bigfoot world as being full of shit.
Yeah.
Which is bad. Like, if the Bigfoot world's pretty open-minded. I mean, this is one of the things that I wanted to bring up about that 411 The Hunted thing. There's audio recording that was supposedly taken from the 1970s from Northern California. I want to say Sonoma? I don't remember where it was. It was somewhere in Northern California, but they call them the samurai sounds. The samurai, and it's the weirdest shit ever, man. It's like these guys had this spot that they would go into the mountains, and they would hunt every year. And they built this structure out there, and then they brought recording equipment, and they claimed to have recorded sounds of these animals, these Bigfoot, and that these Bigfoot were around them all the time while they were up there. Now, what's crazy about it is the sounds are so weird. It sounds like someone pretending to be Japanese that doesn't actually speak Japanese. Yeah. Have you ever heard it? No. We'll play it for you. It's because it's the weirdest shit. It sounds so strange and so fake, but like they have these quote unquote experts that say the human voice is not capable of making sounds remotely similar to this. The range is, which doesn't make any sense if you know who Michael Winslow is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
That guy that guy went on.
He does a woman peeing when she goes to the bathroom.
He does everything.
Yeah, he does everything.
He did Led Zeppelin. He played Whole Lotta Love with his mouth.
Yeah.
And it sounds incredible.
On that show, I tell a joke about Bigfoot. I never saw Bigfoot, but when we were on training. You do these training where you go make maps and all this shit, and we heard him.
You heard Bigfoot?
I heard Bigfoot. I heard him.
What does it sound like?
I could still do that. He does that, but everything you see on them stupid TV shows, that happened. He threw a rock. All the animals started running, and the Marine, because he's the guy who knows where the markers are, but we didn't know where the markers were. He's the one who says, "Hey, we're out of perimeter. Have you guys ever heard of Bigfoot?" Blah 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 blah. He tells us. He was Native American, but he just said that. And
where were you guys? What state?
Like Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
Where they do cold weather training.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you have to make your own maps.
You sure they weren't fucking with you?
I'm pretty sure. Who threw that rock?
Somebody that was fucking with you?
No. I don't
No?
know. Why you fuck with the animals too? All the animals ran too. Remember how you said they know how to get away? All these fuckers they just did a little mass exodus. And it's an old.
I'm very skeptical of Bigfoot.
I've never seen him, but I never heard nothing like that either.
So what if you had did it sound like
It just sounded it was
what was it similar to?
You ever hear Luther Vandross sing live? Like when you hear him on a record, it's one thing, but when you hear him live, he's ooh, like that. He didn't sound like that, but it was the same
power,
like hair on the back of your neck, kind of.
Really?
What the fuck?
Well, bears do that sometimes. Yeah. If you're in the woods and you're in a heightened state because you're looking around, you don't know what's out there. It's all thick woods. It's weird. Woods are weird.
Yeah.
And you see something, you could trick your brain. I saw a squirrel, and for like 2 or 3 seconds, I thought it was a wolf.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real.
Wolf? That's real between here.
I'm seeing something moving in between thick trees, and I see gray fur. I'm like, oh my God, is that a wolf?
Yeah.
Because there's wolves out there.
Right.
I'm in Canada. I'm like, oh, it's a fucking squirrel. What the fuck is wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong with me?
Shoot it.
Yeah. It's like people see what they want to see.
Yeah.
And the problem is you get something into someone's head, a mythological thing, whether it's a UFO or whether it's Bigfoot. I think the world is way more slippery than we like to think. And I think there's states of consciousness that people can achieve during high anxiety levels, definitely during the use of psychedelic drugs.
Yes.
Sometimes during weird states in their life, like near-death experiences, loss of a loved one, extreme emotion, a lot going on, a lot of anxiety and fear, like you would have if you're in the woods.
Sure.
And then you
edge.
see a light across the sky. It might have been just a meteorite.
Right.
But you're in the wrong headspace to see that meteorite. And you just freak.
Yeah.
And maybe for a brief moment, you can see something that's been there all along.
You know how defeated I am right now. I just want you to tell
Bigfoot?
me, like, dude, there's some
I wanna believe
some
in Bigfoot.
crazy stuff out there.
I've interviewed a lot of Bigfoot people.
Yeah.
I had one joke I used to do about Bigfoot. Here's what you don't find when you go looking for Bigfoot. Black people. You're more likely to find Bigfoot than you are black people looking for Bigfoot.
They're not out there.
It's a bunch of unfuckable white guys out camping. That's like
That is the thing.
It's a community of people that want to believe something that there's zero evidence for, and they're fucking locked in.
Like at one point, the guy was like, "Are you sure they're dead?" They were like, "Yeah, you fucking not listening to us. They were torn to pieces, man. They're fucking dead, And a Bigfoot killed these guys." So And he kind of like got him out of the farm and like sat down and was like, well, that was really fucking weird. And we like had a laugh, you know? But obviously that story stuck with me for the next quarter century. And it was one that I told it around like a ghost story around the campfire kind of thing a few times. Wow. But then a friend of mine and a guy I collaborate with, Joshua Fay, who's the director of the series Sasquatch, we were just finishing up another project together, and he texted me out of the blue, and he'd become a fan of this podcast, Sasquatch Chronicles, right? And he texted me, he's like, dude, if we could find some sort of true crime story wrapped up with a Sasquatch angle, like we'd really have something.
What is Sasquatch Chronicles?
I don't even listen to it. I've never listened to it, but it's a podcast that's like, it's basically like people's reporting their Sasquatch encounters, okay? And so he sent me this text out of the blue, and I hit him right back. I was like, I might have one. So he's like, dude, like, can you look into that? So the next step was to get a hold of Buddy that was working on, that was working on the farm up there. Get a hold of anybody I could find that worked in the dope game up in northern Mendocino County. It was near a town called Branscombe that worked in that area at that time in the dope game. Be like, did you ever hear a story like this? But our thinking was, we can't like do a series if it was just me hearing that story in that cabin that one night. But it's the kind of story where you think like that probably spread beyond that one cabin, right? Those guys didn't seem like the type that were going to keep that to themselves. Okay. So, after drawing a lot of blanks, we finally like hit this one sort of information ecosystem subcircle up there, if you will, where people had heard that story. And they were like, yes, 3 guys did get killed, but there's more to it. Right? They were like, there's a story behind that, and it doesn't really involve a Sasquatch actually killing these guys. But I don't want to spoil the show for anybody who hasn't seen it.
For anybody who hasn't seen it, it's well worth the 3. They're like 50 minutes or so.
Yeah,
something like an hour TV show length.
Yeah,
it's very intense.
You listen to the wind. It's like it sounds like a train coming. You have to determine where the wind is coming from, and like get like on a tree or something, because a lot of the icicles are coming like darts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And that night we were I was joking around about it and everything. And one of the officers says, this is a facility, and we don't, I heard you're a comedian. We don't make, basically you can't go on stage and go, hey, guess where I was at? So I was just in the joke. I'm just camping, and we,
oh, I see.
Yeah. But nobody's in the military. But and in the joke, I actually do see Bigfoot. It's a funny bit.
So tell me, how did it happen? What was going on? What were the circumstances?
We were
lay it out for me.
Okay. You have you get, because it's cold and it's raining, so we're like in a little circle. And it's kind of raining, kind of sleeting, and we're talking about, we're gonna do this and do that, because we're comparing shit and everybody's fucking up. We found our 3rd marker first, and it's supposed to be like a 2 or 3 day thing, right? And the good teams, like, you do it in the classroom for a couple of days, and then a team goes out, team comes back, team goes out, and some of the guys who weren't as good as us in the classroom were coming right back in 2 days. They just spent one night and came back. Shit, man, we was on our 3rd day, dog. Like, what? And then our first marker was the 3rd marker, but he couldn't help us. But then after we heard that, he's like, look, you guys fucked up. So because we're all.
He got obsessed with Bigfoot and then developed that Bigfoot show. And unfortunately, a lot of people lost a lot of faith in him because of that. They're like, no, you're the legit survivor guy, and now you're doing this show, and this is why it's ridiculous. There was one episode of the show where they had this guy who he was with who had video of a Sasquatch, like high definition video, and it looks so fake.
Yeah.
It's like he's like the Sasquatch is looking at him through the woods, and he's like, there he is. And it's a guy with a mask on.
That's how he goes. He yells out, I'm a Sasquatch. You're like, oh God, he just yelled that out.
Oh, yo. Makes the samurai noise. But this, the guy who had the video is known to be like full of shit. And here he's got this guy on the show, and then he, is this real? You be the judge. Like, yeah, I'm going to say it's not real. It's a guy with a fucking mask on.
I think I did read that guy was very not respected.
Yes.
In that.
By the Bigfoot community.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot community. Again, very open-minded.
Yeah, he's very just into everything.
This other thing, like they would see trees that would fall over like in certain patterns, and they were convinced that Sasquatch was leaning these trees against each other.
I thought it was like, to let you know where not to go.
Yeah. They had this idea. I mean, it's all theory, right? This idea.
Yeah, I think I've been following the wrong guy, dude. I believe all the stuff that you like's fake. I'm like, yeah. I only watched that Les Stroud one because of that other guy.
Well, I want it to be real. That's the thing.
I
man.
do too.
If someone had a convincing Bigfoot encounter where they caught it on video, where I was like, holy shit, what is that? Like, what is that? Or there was something, but there's nothing. Like, I've talked to a lot of those people when I did this show called Joe Rogan Questions Everything for Sci-Fi, and me and Duncan Trussell actually went camping in the Pacific Northwest. We didn't really camp. We pretended to go camping, and then we went to a hotel.
Yeah.
And then we came back the next morning, like, well, rough night of camping. But we were out there for days trying to look for Sasquatch and talking to people that hunt for Sasquatch. And the one conclusion that we came to is it's a bunch of unfuckable white dudes. It's one of those things where I wish it was real. I
Me
wish
too.
Bigfoot was. Bobcat Goldthwait believes.
Yeah, he loves it.
He's all in. Did you ever watch Willow Creek?
I didn't piss me off because at the end it turns out to be, I'm gonna spoil the Willow Creek, but at the end it's just a bunch of like hillbillies out there killing and blaming it on Bigfoot. Basically, that's like the end is
Wait a
like
minute, which one are you talking about?
You don't really.
Bobcat
There's no
Goldthwait's
Bigfoot
movie?
I think that's what the end is. That like it's just some crazy people that live in the woods. It's not really a Bigfoot.
Is that true?
I think that's the end of Willow Creek.
I don't remember how it ends.
Because they kind of have this one kind of like Blair Witch like shot, and it's
Yeah.
just a bunch of mountain people, which is the scariest thing you'll find in the woods. People
Well, that's that.
that want to be off that grid. People
There's
that,
that documentary Sasquatch. Do you ever see that? It's like a documentary series.
yeah, and it turns out just to be the cartel.
Yeah, it's
Not the cartel, but like weed people.
weed people killing other.
blaming it on a
yeah.
Bigfoot, framing
Yeah.
it to look like a Bigfoot's out there.
Yeah, they killed somebody, and apparently when marijuana was, when they were growing it up there, these hippies started arming themselves.
Yeah.
And then they had rival gang wars with people that would come in and try to steal their crop. And
Sure.
so they started shooting at each other and killing each other. So how long did it take in total?
Oh, we left right after that, dog. He told us he didn't want to be there in the morning. We wanted to be there. So yeah, it's a lot of fudging going on.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
So he said, yeah, good enough.
It's good enough. Yeah.
So you guys were out there and explained to me what happened and who was telling you that it's Bigfoot.
Well, we all heard it. Like
Right.
everybody's like, "What the fuck?" And then everything's running, deer, and everything's just like scurrying. But we heard the, how you throw a stick through the branches. You just throw it like it's like a big something just flew through the trees, and then that's when he's kind of, and of course we're like, "Fuck out of here!"
Right.
But it was just too weird. And then he was like, "Yeah, you guys missed your other markers. I might know where they are." So we just kind of went and got on our markers and went back to the base because we're out, dude. We're out like 20 miles. Out. You have to make
Out
it
there with Bigfoot.
Well, I wasn't really worried about Bigfoot because, according to that dude, Bigfoot don't bother you. I was worried about the other animals.
So that dude's seen Bigfoot before?
I don't know if he's seen him before, but he just said he don't. But he just lets you know when you've gone too far in the woods.
Really?
Like nobody
I
ever
wanna
says.
believe
Nobody
this.
ever says that he grabs you and do nothing. He just does warning things, just like on those stupid TV shows. You ever watch those shows?
Oh,
Where they go,
yeah.
Oh, we heard the Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And you
That's
sit
been
up-
the least successful show ever.
Yes, but
They've been trying to find Bigfoot for like 8 seasons.
I've spent
Still
a
on.
whole day on the road. Like if I'm in my hotel, I spent the whole day with, oh shit, they about to get it. Oh shit. Like, oh my God.
me too.
And then I'm like, it's 5 o'clock.
They got me again.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, man, I
Yeah.
gotta go get something to eat.
Yeah, those aren't so successful.
Yeah.
I mean, the best they get is like a sound.